Why was the dictum of 1764 considered strong? The dictum itself and that it was strong is mentioned here at the end of the first paragraph. The dictum itself is mentioned in the statement before this. Let the parliament lay what burdens they please on us. We must, it is our duty to submit and patiently bear them till they will be pleased to relieve us. This is a very strong dictum that in 1764, the colonists were of a submissive nature and were weakly pleading for self-autonomy. This small fire of anger will become a huge conflagration as the rights are slowly rescinded. So we get the echo of this last statement in the dictum itself. The colonists were of a submissive nature because they said that let the parliament is the British parliament, so the colonizers actually, let the colonizers lay whatever burden they please on us. It is our duty to submit and patiently bear them till they will be relieved, till they will be pleased and relieve us. They would free us. So they were pleading for self-autonomy. They were pleading for freedom. But it was a very weak pleading, a very weak plea, and the colonists were of a submissive nature. This would change. This small fire of anger would become a huge conflagration as the rights are slowly rescinded. As the rights are taken away, this weak plea for freedom, this waiting out, this tendency to wait out the storm until they are pleased and they release us, they let us go, that will turn into an actual struggle for freedom. So let's look at the options. Option A says, because it disguised the colonists' ultimate goals for freedom in the way that it was worded, that is incorrect. The wording itself is given in this statement, we have seen it. And here, till they will be pleased to relieve us, this gives us their ultimate goal. Their ultimate goal was, after all, self-autonomy or freedom. And this says that they were looking for freedom. It was just in a different way. They were submissive and they were weakly pleading. They were begging for freedom. This later on converted into the struggle for freedom and an outright opposition. But the dictum itself, it doesn't disguise the ultimate goal for freedom, the colonists' ultimate goal. It rather reveals the ultimate goal or states the ultimate goal. So A is incorrect. Option B says, because much before the actual event, the path of achieving the goal of the colonists was laid out. This is directly contradictory. The path of achieving the goals of the colonists was laid out much before the actual event. But at the time when the dictum was made, this fire of anger had not turned into a huge conflagration. It had not turned into a struggle for freedom. It was rather a tendency to be submissive. They were of a submissive nature and were very weakly pleading for self-autonomy. So before the actual event, the path of achieving the goal, which is freedom, which, as the last statement of the first paragraph suggests, would come from outright revolution, that was not clear to the colonists. So this also is incorrect. Option C tells us, because it revealed a growing spark of rebellion in the colonists. Now, this also is incorrect. We see a growing spark here. Let's look at this statement, and also we can see a growing spark here. The conditions of rights of the colonists will slowly be changed as the constriction of the parliament becomes more and more intolerable. But that said, the dictum itself did not reveal a growing spark of rebellion. It just revealed a desire for freedom. More than that, it was that it revealed that the colonists were actually submissive, and there was only a very weak pleading, a begging for freedom. It says that let the parliament lay what burdens they please on us. It is our duty to submit and patiently bear them. So the growing spark of rebellion, that came later. The dictum itself doesn't say that the colonists were in any or they had any intentions for rebellion. Rather, it suggests that they were willing to be submissive until the time that they pleased the British government enough that the British government freed them. So C is also a distortion. We can eliminate it. Option D says, because it revealed the awareness of oppression and injustice that the colonists were suffering, which would gradually spark the rebellion. Now, this is quite perfect because in this statement that they were looking for self-autonomy, that they were hoping that they will be, the colonizers will be pleased enough to release them or relieve them. In that, we see that there was at least an awareness of the oppression and injustice that the colonists were suffering. And this would also gradually spark the rebellion. That is something that we see from the last statement. But it doesn't itself say that there was rebellion in the dictum. The dictum was that the colonists had started to look for, to seek, to desire freedom. And that is why it is strong, because it will lead to the rebellion. It will lead to the gradual sparking of the rebellion. It does not speak of rebellion in itself. Hence, D is a valid choice. We can qualify it. That is the correct answer.